Everyone, welcome to Balls and All, your sports and leisure show. Thank you for joining us once again. And we're up in Kalamunda tonight, or today when we're filming, and we're just outside of Stirk Cottage, which was the first building put here, first home here. Back in 1881 it started. When it first came up, and I believe it was a settler's cottage back in the old days. And we're just outside Stirk Park. So as you're coming up the Kalamunda Road, right on the left-hand side, you might whiz by it plenty of times, a little white building on the side. It's really nice inside. You should pop by and have a look. Okay, with me tonight is the couple of the goons from
Hi, goons.
Wayne Simmons. Hey, Wayne.
How you doing?
Good.
And I've had a lot of orange juice today.
Good.
We also did some stories on basketball. We're going to show you a little bit about the Wildcats and how their training session went. And it's going to be very interesting because it'll be the first time anyone has actually gone in depth into the Wildcat lair.
And filmed what they do, so thanks to them for that. And of course, James. Hey, James.
How you going? I've been on orange juice today.
Back.
No.
Sorry.
Recently Kim went down to Forestfield and did a story on belly dancing, which is pretty interesting, as you'll soon see. It was quite good. So see that later.
Excellent. So don't forget. Next time you're coming up Kalamunda way, make sure you drop in and have a look around the place. We're going to be showing you some of the scenes of Kalamunda while we're here. But what we're going to do now is take you to the story of a while back when we went up to the Supercarts.
We certainly did.
Up at Barbagallo Speedway. They were fantastic to see, and they're actually on this Sunday, right after the NASCAR, which is this Friday and Saturday. Get your tickets, and then straight after on Sunday is the Supercarts, all the go-kart, all the action happening there.
Happening on Sunday.
So make sure you're there. So let's have a look at that story.
Hello, we're live for Balls and All, and we're here at the Barbagallo Speedway, and I'm here with young James and some other champions here. We have Dorothy Morrison, we also have Chris Griffith, and we also have Bruce Jones here. Glad to have you here.
All right, thank you.
And you guessed it, all that craziness you hear in the background is racing, because it's the go-kart racing. So what we're going to do now is talk to some people who know more about it than me, and that isn't hard. So Dorothy, could you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Well, this is the annual King of Karts. It's our Supercart event of the year. We invite the sprint karts to come and join us. So we have different classes, of course. We have 4 classes in the sprint karts, and we have 5 or 6 in the supercarts as well. Bruce is our state champion. He won the last finals. He's the champion of the 80 cc's, and Christopher is our champion for the Whispers, correct? And the sprint karts.
Okay, Bruce, I spoke to you yesterday. You just was out there racing, and how you been going today?
I've been going quite well. I've taken up 2 firsts and a second and a DNF. I had a bit of a coming together with one of my competitors, and which still resulted in a rollover. So we managed to get the kart back together again and back out, and it's looking still good. Yeah.
Okay, how many years you been racing?
I've been involved in karting for about 25 years. Back into this former racing, road racing, for the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay. What does it cost to, Dorothy said it's about $2,500 to get a starting 80cc. What does it cost to maintain one for like a season?
Well, I'd say with the tyres, engine rebuilds, once you've got the engine set up, they're quite economical to run. But if you allow yourself $1,000 to $1,500 a year, that should take care of all your fuels, lubricants, engine work, and tyres. Because the 80cc's are really quite an economical sort of class to get into.
Awesome, thanks a lot.
Yes, and we're also here with a rising young star, Chris Griffith. How you doing, Chris?
Good, thanks.
Now, what events are you racing in?
I'm racing in the junior clubman class and the whisper class in the supercarts.
And how long have you're a very young man? So how long have you been racing?
Been racing now for 5 years.
Right now, there's I've heard that you are currently second in the state. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the Supercarts.
Excellent. And how fast do you guys get up to actually?
Down the hill here at Barbagallo, about 180 to 190 k's.
Wow. So you're feeling a few G-forces then, young man.
Yeah, especially in the corners.
Okay. So also, what got you interested in this sport?
We were at a hire kart track once and it was closed, so as we were backing out the driveway we saw a go-kart shop, so we went in and had a look and ended up by buying one.
And so how old are you, Chris?
15, turning 16 March next year.
Okay then, so it looks like you got a pretty bright future there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
Okay, Bruce, how long roughly does the season go for?
We start first race meeting in February. Around the middle of February, we finish up on King of Carts towards the middle of December, latter part of December. So we have about a 6-week break and then back into it again.
Okay, so it's pretty full on. Is it very competitive out there?
It is quite competitive, yeah. We've got some new guys or younger guys which are really starting to develop their craft, and they're starting to give the old fellas like myself a real good run, and they're keeping you fairly honest out there.
Okay, are there any women competitors?
Unfortunately, there's not. No, we did have a couple of women. They seem to have sort of fallen by the wayside for whatever reasons that may be. But we'd like to see certainly more women in the sport. Yeah.
Oh, the flies are
Now today we're at Barbagallo. Where else do you race during the season?
This is predominantly our home track. We have had some meetings with the sprint carters at the Coburn International Raceway. We also have motor carners, which we organise down at the Fremantle Port Authority, and also some hill climbs. And next April we've got a combined meeting with the Vintage Sports Car Club at Gamelling.
Okay, as a younger fellow myself, I'm really keen on motorsports. They said roughly like $2,500 to get involved, and you said about the maintaining. Are there any other requirements you have to do? Do you have to have experience in driving before? Can you just buy the cart, get the team together and go out and try?
No, you don't need the experience. It's something you'll develop when you get out there. You'll obviously be on P-plates and be observed for the first 3 to 4 meetings. And generally, as you learn your craft, you'll get better and better, and certainly a lot faster.
That's great. Back to you, Wayne.
Now, Dorothy.
Hello.
Now, I must admit, most of the racing I do these days is just racing to go to the toilet after a few beers. But if I was to get involved in this situation, what would it be the cost to set up and start racing?
Well, it would depend on the class that you want to start up in.
Well, I'm a pretty low-class type of guy, so let's say at the lowest range to the top range.
That'd be an 80cc.
Okay.
Round about the $2,500 to $3,000 to set up the complete thing.
Okay.
And then you're up and racing.
Right. Now, what if I was real extravagant and let's say I was a champagne type of guy? What would it cost?
Well, I suppose you'd go, if you were qualified, you could go to the 250 Nationals, and that would cost you quite a lot more. You can range anything from $10,000 to $15,000, $16,000 for a really good cart.
Oh, so a small down payment on a house. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, the mechanics of the car, what kind of motor is this? Like a motorbike engine, or do you buy the cart in kit form? How does it all work?
With our class, we use a sprint cart chassis, and the engines are actually motocross engines, YZ, Yamaha-based engines. Not very many Hondas, Suzukis or Kawasaki's. They're predominantly Yamahas, and they're really the ones that have been developed at this point in time. Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, James. I don't mean to cut in, but we have a young champion that's getting ready to race shortly, so we got to get him in and out of here. So, Chris, in closing, would you encourage young people to get involved in this, or?
Yeah, it's a good sport to get into. You can go a long way with it. People are going from here to Formula Fords up into Formula 1 and touring cars.
And you're currently the points leader in your division, is that correct?
Yeah.
Hot diggity dog, I feel psychic. So we just want to wish you all the best today and in the future, and we hope you do very, very well. You've got a big future ahead of you.
Thanks a lot.
And keep drinking orange juice, very important for young people. All right, back to you.
Okay, back to you, Bruce, before we got rudely interrupted. Well, the question I was meaning to ask was, we start off at 80.
Okay.
Are there many steps to go from, I think there's a 125 classes next, isn't it, and the 250?
Yes, that's right. We have 3 classes of 125s. 125 Whisper, which is what Chris Griffiths currently drives. It's a control class, so there's no modifications. It's purely increase your road speed and handling by chassis setup. Then we have some older classes, which are the 125 motocross. And what we've done, we've developed that category of racing because there's a lot of motocross karts out there which guys can't really afford to go the next step of the Grand Prix. So we developed that class and we kept them as so that they're still circulating around the track and they're enjoying their sport. The third category of 125 is the Grand Prix, which are predominantly Honda RS 125 engines, which are out of the racing bikes, and purpose-made frames, which are fully adjustable camber caster, the whole works. So very high tech. And then of course you have the 250 Nationals, which are the singles. And the last class is 250 Internationals, which is the premier class, and they're the twin-cylinder Rotax or Honda RS 250s, which are capable of doing this speeding in about 56, this lap in about 56 seconds, which is as quick or quicker than the touring cars. Yeah.
Okay, you said you've been involved with 25 years. Have you seen any or been involved in any weird crashes?
Yeah, this afternoon actually. Yeah, I had the door closed on me very abruptly, and the fellow I had an altercation with had my front wheels spinning at his helmet. So yeah, but generally the sport's quite safe. You know, you have your spins. You spin more than you do roll or flip or anything else. So the sport itself is quite safe.
Is that because the kart is so flat to the ground?
It is. The centre of gravity is extremely low, and the karts tend to spin more than they do actually sort of roll. So you need to get the wheels to lock together or one roll over the other to get into that situation where you may roll it, but it's extremely rare.
Okay, what's the handling like in the karts?
The handling's very precise. You need to not throw the kart in. It's almost like a neutral steering. Once you go into the corner, you need to try and keep the kart as straight as possible. So you find the karts will drift a fair bit, and the wheels will be almost parallel with the rear wheels. So it's nice. Once you've got it set up and you know how to drive, it's a great feeling.
Great, thanks.
Now, Dorothy, if I want to get involved in this, who would I contact?
Well, you could contact me.
I know a lot of people want to do that, so that's pretty cool. And
they can call me on 9405 3983, or they can write to me on 164 Treetop Avenue, Edgewater.
Wow, that's excellent. So if you could say that number again like we're on telethon, we can even sing it if you want.
Oh, no, thank you. 9405 3983.
Hot diggity dog, you heard it live at Barbagallo Speedway. And we're out. Big thank you to Dot and all the gang down at the go-karts. Thanks a lot. I think James and I had a ball down there.
It was quite amazing how fast. Remember, there was 3 different classes, the 80, the 125 and 250, how fast a little go-kart could go. Wouldn't mind giving it a go myself. It looked like pretty much fun, eh?
I think you can definitely run away from the police in that, baby, huh?
Would they say 240 coming down the hill or something like that?
I don't know, man.
I think it was, 240. I think when they were dreaming, it was 240.
And they're on this Sunday again. Once again, this Sunday they're going to be on, as well as the, of course, the NASCAR Friday and Saturday. Hope you've got your tickets. Congratulations to all the winners we've had over the past couple of months, really.
Yes, big
Giving
week of
away
sport.
lots of prizes here on Balls and All, and thank you to all those who also sent in letters thanking for the opportunity. We appreciate that. We're here still at Kalamunda, as we will be for the whole show, and we're this must be the Kalamunda Opera House, is it?
Must be.
Yes, it is.
And this was built by the Rotary Club, as you can see their logo there on the back wall. And the floor, the mosaic on the floor, which we'll show you, was actually designed by the youth up here. So
You can actually moonwalk on it.
quite good.
No, just kidding. Anyway.
Okay. Now listen, if you love gridiron, even if you hate gridiron, as you saw, the Super Bowl just played Monday. The Rams, eh? As you saw the Super Bowl, now the Gridiron West semifinals was also last weekend, and we're going to be showing you a big show on it next week. So,
really big
if
show.
you wanted to ever know about the sport that some of us love very much, make sure you tune in next week, and we'll tell you a bit about the sport.
It's a very exciting sport, and I think it's the type of sport, I know there's a lot of Australian sport, but once you get into it, it's the type of sport, once you play, you really like it.
And these are all young West Australian boys out there. A few Yanks smattered through it, but
it's a damn shame that the Broncos didn't make it, but it should be a good game anyway.
That's right. So make sure you watch it, and next week we're going to tell you about it and let you know all about the game and talk to some of the refs, some of the coaches, some of the players, and give you a bit of insight to the local gridiron scene. So make sure you watch it next week.
Yeah, that should be good. And actually, we're very excited about it. Moose and I and the gang will be down there covering it. So actually have a look, because it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Yep. So, okay, we're going to be taking a break from the Kalamunda Opera House here. It's like Moose, Ross, and the Supremes here, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Before they get carried away, we'll take a break.
Get us out of here.
Back to balls and all, and we're now at I think the most northern point of the Bibbulmun Track. Now, the Bibbulmun Track was named because of the Bibbulmun Aborigines, and it stretches from here in Kalamunda. I believe it actually goes up towards Mundaring as well, but then it goes all the way down, zigzags its way through the Golden West as we know it here, all the way down to Albany. Something like 900 and some kilometers it actually goes for. The bus? Yeah. You think so?
I'm going with the bus now, guys.
You wouldn't believe the weather here today. 2 hours ago it was as hot as it could be, and of course the rains come in. Must be something like last week when we got rid of
I swear, it's like The Exorcist. The weather's just swirling, just turning around.
So yeah, get up here, have a look at the Bibbulmun Track, and a lot of people walk it. Now, James, what story are we going to now?
Yes, as I said earlier on in the show, Kim recently went down the forest field to do a story on belly dancing, so let's go take a look.
Down, down, down.
That belly in it.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm down here for Balls and All in Forestfield this morning, and I'm talking to Amethyst, and she's here with her belly dancing school. So, Amethyst, how are you?
Very well. Welcome to our studio, the Amethyst studio in Forestfield, to our lovely belly dance school. Nice to have you here.
So, Amethyst, what can you tell us? How long have you been involved in belly dancing?
I've been dancing 9 years now, and started when I was feeling a little 40-ish and round in the middle and feeling a bit neglected and maybe wondering where my spirit had gone. And my husband encouraged me to pick up belly dancing, which helps you to keep fit and feel feminine and beautiful.
Okay. So how do you get involved in something like this? Like, where did you go to? Where did you first think of belly dancing?
Okay, well, I had actually seen it advertised in the local paper, and I thought, well, that may be a go, and my husband said, get in there and have a try. And it was a matter then of getting your courage up, which a lot of women find very difficult when you're feeling a little, as I say, 40-ish. And I went along and joined a group of girls who were doing belly dancing for actually the fitness to start with, but I found the self-confidence that I built as well as the fitness level was the end result for me.
Do you have to be fit to do a sport leisure activity to do something like this? And does it keep you quite fit?
It does. No, you don't have to be fit. Anybody can belly dance. It doesn't matter the age, the shape, colour, creed. It just doesn't matter. You can have two heads and belly dance. It is the one form of recreational exercise and dance form that has no prejudice against anybody. So for the very young, the children, and there is even a seniors troop. I think the oldest is 80 odd. So it is very good. I've been asthmatic all my life, and my lung capacity has grown immensely. As with arthritis, it keeps the joints fluid. So it's keeping everything moving and keeping us younger and healthier.
Okay, what about levels? Is there a certain levels that you go through when you're dancing?
Yes, we start at what I call beginners, and I teach what I call the mechanics of belly dance. It is learning to find where your isolation areas are. We'll go through that later when I'm running through a class. And finding where your best asset is. Now, we all have best assets, and we use that for our front line, so that we know that's our best asset. Our asset might be our hands, or it could be the hips, so we go with that for ourselves.
All right. What about concerts and performances? Like, is there a certain performance after you've reached a level or anything?
Yes, well, there are different levels from the beginners you go on to advanced. Some do intermediate. I tend to stay with beginners and advanced because I like those mechanics to be very strong before people go on to advanced. But I have a troupe. I have a main troupe and a school troupe. The main troupe does a lot of performing. We do a lot of community work. So we're quite willing to talk to people who need our help sometime, maybe to bring a bit of spark and colour to their function.
Okay, so what about the costumes? As we can see, they're all wearing coins and that. Is there a particular reason, and the flowy skirts and that?
Yeah, the coins originated way back when the dancers were dancing. The more coins they had, they actually were paid with gold coins from the audience, and they would sew them onto their costume. And the more coins that a dancer had on her costume, it meant the better the dancer she was. Or maybe she was lucky enough to be in front of richer people, I'm not sure. But yes, the coins are symbolic. The costuming is very varied. We prefer this sort of thing for class. It's more comfortable to move in. And when we're performing, we wear varied beaded tops and belts, but we're very particular with our costuming. We always wear harem pants under our skirts so that we are demure rather than showing a lot of bare legs. When you twirl and your skirts are full, and we quite often wear 3 skirts at a time, when they twirl up, then you're not showing any of your body that you don't want shown. So it's for demureness mainly.
And what about the image that belly dancers have? What are they trying to portray? Is it?
Okay, well, there's varied images, but as you probably realise, the old-fashioned image of belly dance was quite risque and associated with stripping. And that makes me a little sad because it's a beautiful culture. And I have a little saying, if you're going to borrow somebody else's culture, please treat it with the utmost respect. And that is what we do, and we're very proud to do that. But it is hard sometimes. People say, oh, belly dancing, you know, you have to have a belly and all that. It's nonsense. Belly dancing is a beautiful art form. It is sensual, not sexual. So we are very proud of it.
Right, and what about the music? Where does that come from? What sort of music do you have to dance to?
The music is varied. We get music from Egypt and Turkey and Lebanon and a lot of Latin American as well. A lot of modern stuff's coming through. So there's a great variety of music available if you just hunt around.
That's great. And also one more question. Can men belly dance?
Yes, men can belly dance. We have a very excellent male belly dancer here in Perth. But yes, they can. It's just that their hip movements are not quite as nimble as us, because our hip area is very womanly.
So it's not just a women's sport?
No, it isn't. And traditionally in Egypt, you would find at an outing the men would be dancing and the women would be inclined to be in another room, quietly dancing without public seeing them.
So if someone wanted to get involved in this sport after watching our show, how would they get involved in your school? Okay, if you look in the phone book under Amethyst Belly Dance School, we are based in Forestville, but we have classes in Kelmscott and in Altone Leisure Centre, in Banara Road, Beachborough, and all over the place. We have night classes, day classes, and different levels, so please get in touch with us. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Or you can contact our website when you watch the show, and you can get all our details off there. So for now, we'll go and we'll have a look at you dancing and showing some of your routines, okay? Thank you very much.
Yes, that was very interesting, and I thought the ladies showed a lot of class in the way they did that. And there was definitely some good moves in there. And what I liked about it is it showed that you can actually relax. It's easy. You can have a lot of fun. And everybody there seemed to enjoy themselves, and that's what it's all about.
And something I thought was very good that Amethyst said there is that if you're going to borrow someone else's culture, make sure you show it the proper care and don't abuse it, obviously. That was very good. Okay, well, before we get blown away here, we're going to be taking a break, and we'll try to show you another little part of Kalamunda while we're here.
Hopefully we won't get rained in, baby.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Balls and All, your sports and leisure show. And as I said earlier, we endeavored to try to show you a little bit about Kalamunda, but it's kind of hard to do because it's very persistently coming down, isn't it?
I mean, the rain is definitely out there. I mean, it just reminds me of this line in the song, smiling as the comes down. Because it's definitely coming down right now.
Okay, so in the background here is the old village that you can come up and visit. They've got quite a few buildings here and a museum. The old post office behind me has
1901.
1901 it was first opened, so part of our heritage here in Western Australia.
I think I was an embryo back then, Moose.
I think they had the right idea back then. They didn't even think of you.
Oh!
Okay, now let's go to your story.
Yep, as you've seen earlier, me and Wayne went down and did two mics now.
In stereo.
A bit of a story on go-karting. That was part 1, so take a look at part 2. Before we seen a cart, it came off the track and flew back on. Is that legal in this racing?
Yeah, I think they're allowed to do that, Neil, and then just go back onto the track.
It's part of the racing surface. Pit row and this in-road is part of the racing surface, so yeah, it's all quite legal to do.
Okay, and what kind of class was that just racing?
They were sprint cart juniors.
Junior clubman.
Junior clubman sprinters, yeah.
Are they just the young fellas, are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, how old are they, Neil?
Basically between 11 and 16 years of age.
Okay, how many divisions are there in that sort?
Of junior clubman is its own class. It's just one class on its own. There are other junior classes, junior national. There's rookies and there's midgets as well, all to do with age and weight.
Now, Neil, excuse me, you have your son also racing in this event, and he's currently, I believe, second in the state and currently the points leader. Is that correct?
Yeah, he races both sprint cart and supercart. We're not having that great a day in junior clubman in the sprint cart, but in the supercart with the gears, yeah, he's currently leading the day today.
Well, I think you're in a pretty rare situation because a lot of times these days people don't get to spend a lot of quality times with their children, but because you both are involved in this event, that gives you a lot of time to spend with your son, so I'm sure that's of a big benefit to him and yourself.
Yeah, Chris will be 5.5 nights a week in the shed. Usually drags me out there, so it's not a 1 hour exercise. Right. Yeah, to get the carts ready, he's generally out there 5 nights a week.
That's brilliant, and like I said, that's a good family outing. So people out there watching, it's a family outing.
Is that right? I was just going to say, my son Samuel, he's 16, he races supercarts, and Samuel's been pretty much of a petrolhead right from sort of when he was a little toddler. We've got a different perspective because I'm a mum, and his dad's really not, you know, he's supportive, but it's not really his thing.
It's the invasion of the flies. It's a new movie. The fly snatchers are killing. They've even got the cameraman. Ah!
So I just thought it was a great way for Samuel to learn sort of basic mechanics and setting up a race cart and just the whole sort of thing about motor racing, you know, because we do budgets and we write to sponsors, and so he'd like a career that in his future, and it's a very cheap way of getting him onto the track and having a good time.
That's brilliant.
What is your role with the actual organisation?
Neil and I both do promotions and marketing for the WA Supercart Club.
Okay, did you basically get into that obviously because your son started driving, or did you get into it before he did and kind of he followed on?
No, we sort of, my brother was actually involved in the club, and when he had retired, and I sort of put my hand up and said, oh, do you mind if Sam has a go in the cart? And we did. We sort of laid low for that first year. This is our second year. Neil does a lot of Neil sort of has inroads into the actual trade, so I let him kind of handle all that kind of stuff, and he's sort of got a connection to the sprint carts as well, and I just bring up people and make them feel good and hopefully get them to come down and see what we do.
And how is your son going this year?
He looks like he might be the new state champion for juniors. We'll know in January when that's announced, but if he's done that, we'll be very pleased.
That's great.
Excuse me, I was just wondering, in terms of the basic rules of the track, could you let some people know about that, Neil?
Yeah, it's fairly simple. The carts generally have a rolling start. Some classes do have standing starts, but it's fairly easy. It's just a formation grid. You come around for the starter lets them go, and it's just straight underway.
Now, are there different rules for different divisions? Because I believe you have, the 80, the 120, and then the 250. So is it different for those divisions?
No, not really. The guys on the day, today's a little bit unusual because we have a combination of sprint cart and supercart. So some divisions today have elected to take rolling starts to make it more even for all competitors, because it is supposed to be a combined day where both formats can join together and have a lot of fun together.
Neil, what is the difference between super and sprint carts?
Basically, the supercart has a gearbox, whereas the sprint cart is a direct drive. That's really just the difference.
That's all it is?
Yeah.
Is there much difference in top speed or anything?
Oh yeah, the 250s are quite faster. They'll come down the hill here a little bit quicker than these fellas. Genuinely around about 220 to 240 kilometres an hour. And the juniors today are running at around about 130, 135 kilometres an hour.
Now, Neil, is the Barbagallo Speedway, if I can get it out, if I can learn how to speak, the Barbagallo Speedway, is that the basic home for you guys?
For supercarting it is. Sprint karting, on the other hand, travels all around the state. You'll travel as high as Port Hedland, Newman, as far south as Esperance, Albany, Kalgoorlie. Wow. Kalgoorlie has an international class track, so does Wanneroo just down the road here, and so does Coburn. International events have been held at them all.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Okay, Tina, I spoke to a couple of other guys earlier, and they said it's about $2,500 to buy a basic cart and that. What is the why should young people get into this sport, say, from other ones?
Well, it was one of the main. I think you need to have a passion for motorsport to start off with. It seems to be you either like it or you don't like it. So if that's there, then this is definitely the way to start, is with go-karts. With the supercarts, it cost us about $4,000 to get him on the track, and it's cost me about $500 to run for the whole year. So, on the scale of what the cost of motor racing can be, it's pretty good, and I know where he is and what he's doing, and I know he's doing something he really, really loves.
And having good fun at it as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, also protective clothing and helmets. What can you give us a rundown on what they have to wear? Yeah,
well, it's pretty much standard as in all motorsport racing. And Neil probably can go more into detail what they need.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah, the supercar drivers in the big 250s, they'll wear leathers because we're not looking at a fire situation where things catch on fire with these drivers. You're looking more at like a motorcycle type accident where a driver will get actually tipped out of the cart if it comes to that. So they're looking for abrasion resistant suits. Right. The bigger high speed drivers will wear leathers, whereas the lower end of the scale with the lower speed, you're looking at a material called Dura. But the helmets are all the same, gloves, protective shoes, things like that. It's all to do with abrasion and impact resistance.
And there's not many mishaps out here. The track is relatively safe from what I understand.
Yeah, very safe indeed. Although the speeds are very high, the corners are also very long and very sweeping. So although some of those corners look tight, you can still comfortably take them at 100 kilometres an hour in a cart.
That's brilliant. I just want to thank you, Tina, Lizzie, and Neil Griffith, for your time, and we wish you guys all the best in your upcoming events.
Yes, thank you both very
Thanks
much.
a lot.
Thank you very much to everyone down there. And God, I wish I was in a go-kart on a day like today. I'd be slipping and sliding all over that track, man.
That was a nice hand pass over there by Moose. And isn't Moose haircut very military
Very
today?
military today, yes.
I almost wanted to salute him.
Everyone usually does.
Happy D-Block to all my people out there. And a special shout out to the guys out at Banksia Hill, that basketball team. And your coaches here hanging out. Just thought I'd say
Don't forget, though, if you like watching that go-karting, they're going to be the bigger boys coming out there soon on February the 11th and 12th.
This Sunday.
This Sunday, yeah.
The NASCAR.
The NASCAR, yeah. That's what I was
that's
saying.
very nice.
Okay.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah. You might try to remember what we're talking about.
Yeah, get with the damn program.
Give me the mic. This Sunday is the Supercarts. Of course, you know that Saturday.
Microphobia.
If there's any people out there who've got lots of money, we need a new mic, okay? So help us out here.
Okay, thanks very much. We're going to be taking a break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
You want we'll give you a break.
Hey, James.
You want to do the show? Hey, there's a show going on.
Yeah, that's giving it balls and all. Hey, everyone, welcome back. And you wouldn't believe it, we had a
This is the
torrent.
same day.
We had a torrent just last 10 minutes ago. We've come to the zigzag road, zigzag hill, and the sun is shining. The birds are singing.
The fires are burning.
We just avoided a thunderstorm, and now look, it's all nice.
It just roared over us. Now, this is the zigzag. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but you should come and have a look. It's where the old train that used to come up to the hill here had to zigzag up and down the hill to actually get up here. Now it's a road, and you can actually come up here. It's one way, so that's pretty good. Means you don't have to worry about oncoming traffic. So
That's very nice to know in the wilderness.
now, talking about some great West Australians who face a bit of oncoming traffic weekly.
Yes, in terms of the Wildcats, the Perth Wildcats, who are doing quite well now, and before last week had won 8 straight games at home and are comfortably sitting in 3rd or 4th place, so they'll definitely be going to the playoffs. They've made a tremendous turnaround for not only for balls and all, but for the team as a whole. And this will be the first time where you actually get to see some of the Wildcats actually in training and some of the preparation that's involved. We have a lot of preparation for the show.
Story. Yeah, let's go to the story.
Let's
Here
go
we
to the show so I can shut up now. Thank you.
Pass the card, Red. See the ball.
I'm here chatting with Mike Ellis, assistant coach of the Wildcats. How you doing, Mike?
I'm very well, Wayne. Yourself?
Pretty good. You got
Up as always.
Well, you know, I got to play the role. Now, you guys on what, an 8 or 9 game winning streak at home?
Yeah, we've won 8 in a row at home, so we're looking to make it 9 on Saturday. Yeah.
Pretty tough competition coming in with Andrew Gaze and these guys desperately needing a win. How do you plan on stopping Andrew?
Well, I don't think you do stop Andrew. No one has yet. I don't think anyone short of a piece of 4x2 between the eyes, and no one's tried that yet.
Good.
Yeah, we should maybe give that a go. I think with Andrew, what you've got to do is just try and limit him a little bit if you can. But the biggest thing is try and make sure that the other players don't get off. Andrew's always going to get his 30 points.
Yeah.
It's when Copeland gets 30, Bradkey gets 30, and the new kid, Bennett Davidson. If they all get 30, then suddenly we're looking 120 points, and we've got to score a lot to win the game.
Right. Now, I mean, all your guys are playing well, and this is the first time in years all the Wildcats have been relatively healthy. What do you contribute that to?
A lot of luck, I think. Mate, we used all our bad luck up last year. We had so many injuries. We reckon we had enough there to last us for about 3 seasons. So we're in pretty decent shape now, so we're happy with that.
I'll tell you what, Mike, it was so scary last year with injuries. I was scared to walk in here. I was scared I'd twist the ankle just walking in.
I'm with you, mate. It was terrible. It was just one of those. But fortunately this year everyone's fairly healthy, you know, touch wood, and we want to keep it that way.
I think lately you guys have just been totally dominating teams. I mean, for you guys, a 6 or 7 point lead, it felt like 15 or 20 points just sitting up here watching the game last week. I never really got the sense that Sydney was really into the ball game. What has happened? I mean, have you guys really picked up your defense to that point, or what's happened?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of two things. Our defense has picked up considerably. You know, Paul makes a big difference in the middle there. It means that the guys, knowing he's behind you, can get up and play some D. So that, you know, you don't have guys driving around us as much because Paul's in there to throw some stuff out of there. But also offensively, we're flowing a lot more into our offense, and by doing that, you know, it's harder for teams to run on us, so they're not getting the transition baskets that they were possibly a little bit last season.
And I think, too, your bench has really stepped up. I mean, James Harvey has played a significant role this year, and you've got Stephen Black who's come in. And as you can recall, even when we used to train here at the Wildcats when he was young, he used to come up to people and challenge him, come on, let's get in a shooting match. And
yeah, he hasn't changed. He's still doing that, but now he can back it up.
That's the scary thing. He was like 7 or 8 years old trying to talk to us now. You've got Ricky healthy for the first time in a couple years. What does that mean to your ball club?
Ricky's the heart and soul of the club, without doubt. You know, I mean, we showed at the start of the season when Ricky wasn't playing, we were 0-3. You know, he came out, he got healthy. It took him a while to get healthy, so I think it was no coincidence that it took him a while, as well as us, actually. You know, so you get the two together. He's back healthy. He's playing well. The team's playing well. I mean, he's the driving force. There's no doubt about it.
Now I'm talking to Alan Black. I was just talking to the cameraman. He just slapped me, so I'm all right. So how you doing, Alan?
I'm very well, thanks, Wayne.
You guys are on a big winning streak now, and what do you contribute that to?
I think the guys playing hard. You know, we started off the season very poorly, and we had a couple of meetings and decided that the main thing we weren't doing was playing hard, and the guys responded, and we're playing well now.
Now you've got your son playing with you well. He seems to have fitted in very well with the team. And how do you like with coaching your son?
It's fun. You know, the two of us have been together for a long, long time, and in basketball terms, and we talk about the game a lot, and it's great to have someone there that you can talk to.
Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, you've got to be close to up for Coach of the Year this season. How do you feel about that?
If we win a championship, then you're the Coach of the Year. I think anything else, is nice, but really what we're after is a championship. If we do that, then I'll be pumped. If we don't do that, they'll be disappointed. And any other individual accolades really don't mean much to coaches.
Okay, then now you've got over the hurdle of your 500th game as a player and a coach. How would you like to see the team finish up? Would you like to finish obviously in first place, but do you guys have a chance at doing that if you win your remaining games?
We have an outside shot at first, but I think a realistic spot would be second. We're second at the moment. We just need to take care of business over the next 9 games, and we can definitely finish second. So realistically, that's the spot. You know, Adelaide are playing very well. They're the team to beat, and they look like having a mortgage on first place.
Okay, now you've got Marcus Timmons coming into the side. Where do you see him fitting in on this team?
He's an athletic 3-man, and he'll be taking some time there. You know, we've got great 4-men in Scott Fisher and Andrew Vlahoff. Scott's been playing out of position all year and done a fantastic job of it, but it'll give us a chance to play him more in the 4. We might even slip into the 5 for a little bit, and I think it just gives us a more balanced team.
This year, with the emergence of James Harvey and your son and a couple other players, you guys have a bench that is stronger than you have had in years past. You want to explain that?
Yeah, I think the emergence of James has been a big one. Now, last season he only played 4 or 5 minutes a game and really struggled. He had a fantastic SPL off-season, and that's really paid dividends for him. And he's coming on and getting about 10 points a game and being instant offence. You know, Stephen comes from the Institute of Sport. He's had a fantastic junior career, and he's the rookie of the team and learning it. And he's got Ricky Grace teaching him. So I think it's a great situation for him.
Excellent. Well, we just want to wish you guys all the best this week and in coming weeks, and you guys look like the Forum team to beat, so all the best to you.
Thanks a lot, Wayne.
I'm here with two Wildcat stars, not only of the future, but are doing very well right now. Adrian Mastervic, and I'm here with James Harvey. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Good, man.
This season, you guys are playing extremely well. The team's doing well. And yourself, James, you really stepped it up this season. What do you contribute that to?
I mean, I just think really, confidence more than anything. Once you start getting on a roll, I had a good pre-season and a good SBL year, and that lifts your confidence, and then it's just been able to translate over. I don't think defensively I've improved a fair bit, but I think just main thing offensively coming off the bench has just been confidence. So.
Exactly. Now, you also averaged about 30 points a game in the SBL, and you seem to think, I guess that helped you in terms of.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. Again, it's a whole confidence thing, knowing that, in the end, you're still shooting at the same basket, you're still playing on the same court, and you still should be making the same shots you do in the SBL as in the NBL. So it's been good to translate that over to the NBL.
Oh, excellent. Also, these two guys are two prominent West Australians, so that's a big thing as well. Now, Adrian, you averaged about 25 points a game in the SBL, so how are you finding the transition to the NBL?
I suppose I've struggled a little bit this year. I've had an elbow injury, but even prior to that, I wasn't really getting a whole lot of court time because, Andrew Vlahov and Scott Fisher are playing so well at the moment, so it's been a matter of opportunity for me, I suppose, so, yeah.
Okay, then now, how's your injury at the moment?
I'm still struggling a bit for touch, and I'm still blowing a bit, but other than that, it's still a little weak, but it's coming along pretty well. I'm playing for a week, but it's not that bad.
Oh, excellent. Now, you guys, where do you see your roles in the future with the Wildcats? First off, James.
I think both of us are pretty much in a similar role at probably about the same time. The two major competitors to our position, I guess, probably for Adrian, it's probably Andrew or Scott, and for me, it's probably Stewie. They're both, all three of those are probably going to be stepping out at similar times. Probably retiring. So it's going to give us both probably the exact same chance. In 2 or 3 years, we should hopefully both of us be starting five for the Wildcats. One of us, me, in the shooting guard spot, and hopefully Adrian in the small forward spot. So we've certainly got the opportunity anyway.
And Adrian, how do you see your role?
Like James said, I suppose we are in a very similar situation, and basically a matter of time waiting for the older guys to kind of step out of the way so we can have a bit more court time and hopefully assume a bit more of a role in the team.
Okay, then now also with the SBL season coming up, a lot of people want to know, James, where are you heading to?
I'm heading to the Willetton Tigers. I'll be playing in the backcourt with Stephen Black, and the reigning MVP Matt Foster. So, I'm looking to add a championship to my belt in the SBL, which will be pretty sweet, I think. So.
And Adrian, where are you headed?
I think Halves is going to struggle for an SBL championship because I'm heading to the Eagles, and we've got Ricky Grace coaching and Anthony Stewart in the backcourt. So I think we'll be reasonably formidable.
Man, the on-court is on-court and off-court already. We just want to thank you guys for coming down and wish you guys every success in the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. Good on you, mate.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, well, that was pretty good, Wayne.
Yeah, that was an excellent story, and I have to thank the whole Wildcat organization, Andrew Blahoff, Alan Black, Mike Ellis, and the whole Wildcat organization for allowing us to come in and film that. And I think it would be good for some of you younger players out there, younger basketballers, to see what is involved, what it encompasses to become a Perth Wildcat.
So, and now, Moose, I believe you're going to do the draw.
Yeah, we're going to draw the...
in this fantastic box.
Oh, sorry, I thought he said the draw.
See the balls and all the draw box here? And this is for the last NASCAR day, isn't it, Moose?
It's beautiful in spaces, isn't it?
Last NASCAR day?
The last NASCAR, that's this Friday and Saturday up at Barbagallo Speedway. This is for the last ticket, and we'll get that out to you in time, hopefully. Denise, I hope your ticket has arrived. We'll check on that anyway. Okay. Mix them up a bit.
Give it a good shake.
That was a professional shake there, Moose. That was really good. I see that tumbling motion.
And it's better.
Okay. Was that one of my bills? How did that get in there?
Okay, I'm not sure if he's won once before. I think he has. But anyway, Mr. Brian Hunt of Mount Hawthorne.
Well, Brian, you don't have to hunt anymore. You've won, buddy.
If you've won, well, you've won another ticket, so you'll be able to give that out. That's what happens when you put a lot of entries in. So, well done, Brian.
About 1,000, actually.
Now, we've had a good time up here, although we got pretty wet at one time. At Kalamunda, it's nice and bright and sunny, as we said, but early it wasn't. Now, don't forget, this weekend, Friday and Saturday, the big NASCAR, first time in Western Australia. Make sure you get down and have a look at that. Get your tickets if you haven't won one from us, red tickets.
It's going to be huge.
Huge. And we'll be there hosting it for you. And also on Sunday, the same place up at Barbagallo's is the Speedcarts, Supercarts. And as well, next week, we're going to be giving you a bit of a show on what happened, a little bit of what happened with the semifinals at the Gridiron.
Because if you want to know, just ask James. It's going to be huge. Yeah. Huge. Yeah. Huge. Yeah. Next week.
Not normal. We are looking for other reporters. So if you're normal.
If you have your brain in your head, this is not the show for you, baby.
Okay, so next week we're going to be talking about the Gridiron, show you some more stuff. And this week, as we say, we've got the
hike,
Speed Supercarts and the NASCAR and everything else. So make sure you tune in next week. Have a look. I don't know where he's going.
Oh, sorry.
He's still here.
Sorry.
Unfortunately. And so make sure you tune in next week, 8:30 every Monday night. You know the name of the show is
Balls and All.
8:30 Monday night. Make sure you tune in, and we'll see you then.
Go get some.
D-Block.